This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
Welcome to Elder Geeks Elder Speak. Today is Friday, April 13th, 2012. Today in the background, more footage from Xenoblade Chronicles. Next week I'm probably going to have something else up, but for now, since I have the fancy schmancy Xenoblade Chronicles background made and the Wii hooked up for recording, that's actually what we're going to be seeing. Today with me on the show is Jesse Bagachinsky, once again, one of the staff writers for ElderGeek.com. Jesse, welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
And we're ready to dump upon everyone a slew of news to get them prepared for the weekend. Jesse, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Coming up first, there is Kinect support coming to Skyrim to the 360. And it's actually pretty neat looking. It's based on the trailer that Bethesda put out. It's most of the dragon calls you can actually do through Kinect. You can do menu systems through Kinect. And one of my favorite things that they had on there was quick saving and quick loading done through Kinect as well. Thoughts, Jesse? First of all, which platform do you have your Skyrim on?
PS3.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, you poor man.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, as a person who is one, not enjoying mods, and two, you're not going to be enjoying it on Kinect. What are your thoughts on Skyrim heading to Kinect?
I think some of the stuff is pretty cool, like the quick save, quick load, and like the menu options for it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if I would memorize any other shout besides the main one.
I would probably memorize one or two. Some of the things seemed neat but unnecessary. Like the looting of an entire chest. It's like, do you really need to do that? It's one button. You just click one button and it unloads everything. It's actually faster than speaking. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is neat. I don't know if a lot of it is necessary. That's kind of how I feel about it. Except for the quick save, quick load. That I think is badass.
Yeah, that would be extremely helpful rather than going through a handful of menus to get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of these functions actually already exist in a few mods that people did for the PC version, and I guess Bethesda thought, hey, that's pretty great, let's go ahead and do that for Kinect. Now my only question is, why isn't Bethesda go ahead and doing this with PCs in general? I mean, this isn't some type of technology that you need a Kinect for. You know, there's no camera needed for any of these motions or anything like that. This is all just voice activation stuff, which you could easily do within any PC anywhere.
Right, you just have to have a microphone or something, headset.
That's it. Just got to have a headset. But so, exciting news for 360 owners. Still, if somebody said, hey, which platform would you get it on, I would still say PC first, just because the modding community is ridiculous. We were tinkering around with the idea of doing Elder Geek's favorite Skyrim mods, but we're still kicking that soccer ball around a little bit. But,
maybe once there's a few more out there.
There's tons, and there's a lot of really cool ones. But it's like every time you want to settle down on a select, like 5 or 6 or something like that, more awesome ones kind of pop up.
Right.
But, so that's that. That's very exciting for 360 owners. There's another Kickstarter that was just launched called Police Warfare. Jesse, did you have a chance to look at this one?
Yeah, I watched the video. It looks pretty cool. Some of the stuff that they added, like the rappelling and like all the extra equipment, might make it a little bit different from like Battlefield or something like that. But maybe it seems like it might be just a little bit too similar. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, here, just to give people some background on it, this Police Warfare, which the name alone is just entirely too close to Modern Warfare. The Police Warfare game actually has just an incredibly talented group of people working for it. Guys who worked on Far Cry 3, Gears of War, Crysis 1 and 2, Assassin's Creed, Medal of Honor, GoldenEye, Killzone 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, just a ton of incredibly talented people from across the industry coming together to create this basically cops and robbers video game. And as neat as that might sound, I don't see any reason for a Kickstarter for this. You know, I hate to say that I want to see a Kickstarter fail, but I don't want to see this Kickstarter succeed. This seems like a standard pitch to any publisher / developer out there. Why EA or Activision wouldn't want to bet on this as it is? It seems to me like a pretty generic first-person shooter based on what they've shown so far.
Right.
That's me. I mean, I'm sure there's other people that are kind of psyched about it, but the Kickstarter doesn't seem to be doing that well so far. They have a whole month to go, but out of a requested $325,000, that's a lot of money. But at this time, they've only raised $6,000.
Yeah. I was just reading in the description. They said like one of the modes would be similar to like Rush mode, where it would be like you have to stop the robbers from blowing up a set number of vaults. And I was just like, really? That's what you came up with for like a police action game?
That's it. And apparently the whole idea was kind of sparked off of a Call of Duty mod that Activision kind of put the kibosh on.
Oh, that doesn't make it any better.
No, it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Here's probably one of the first Kickstarters that, like I said, I hate to say it, but I don't want to see this one go through. It just seems generic through and through. I hope that it's not. I hope that if this actually does get, funded, I hope to see something completely different. But if Kickstarter is going to be becoming this place where anybody can just get their game funded and create games that we've already been paying millions of dollars for. I mean, God, how much do the Call of Duty games, how much money do the Battlefield games made? Why do we need more of them? We have plenty of them as it is. We need other kinds of games.
I saw something else that was pretty funny. It said like with everybody who makes a $100 donation, if the game succeeds and gets made, they will get a special additional class in addition to like the sniper support and what have you. I'm like, that's some expensive ass DLC.
But not only that, but it's some expensive ass DLC. But it sounds like it might actually be a game breaking, or of course, there's no way for me to tell, but that might be a game breaking, favor in somebody's edge. But for $100,
yeah.
So there you have it. Police warfare. I don't want to see that one made. I really don't.
No, it could have been so much cooler.
Honestly, why are we seeing more good superhero games? The last good superhero games that kind of came out were the Infamous games, and what was kind of neat about those was they weren't based on any comic books that existed already. But I'm not saying that Kickstarter needs to be made to have these superhero games, but superheroes are awesome.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of potential that could be had with any number of superpowers in a game.
Absolutely, but instead we always just fall back on these generic ass shooters. So that's my take on it. I'm glad to hear your take on it too, sir. You also said before the show that you've never played an Oddworld game before.
Correct.
I'm surprised. Really? Do you know what they are?
I'm familiar with them vaguely, like Abe's Odyssey and stuff like that. I've seen that on like PlayStation, and I've always wanted to try it out, but I just never got around to it.
It was just an epic series, and it was one of those series that I think everybody was kind of surprised to see fade away into obscurity. I don't think it failed in any stretch of the imagination. It just kind of faded away, kind of like the Earthworm Jim series. There's another series that I'm surprised doesn't still exist in some form. But there is a new website that was launched, Oddworld Hand of Odd, which is just handofodd.com. And who knows? I mean, if it stays within the same veins of the old Oddworld games, I'll be happy to see this one come back.
Yeah, I was looking on their wiki page, and it seems like it was supposed to be coming out, like at least in development, along the same time as Munch's Odyssey, around like the beginning of the Xbox.
Yeah, like late PS2 era, early Xbox era.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see it. Let's see it happen.
Yep. Hopefully, it won't be another Duke Nukem.
Seriously. Yeah, seriously.
They might have to go crawling to Gearbox for that one.
Final little bit of news today. Miyamoto has come forward in an interview saying that he wants to explore doing a retro-style Zelda game. Either reimagine The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past or create a new Legend of Zelda in the same vein of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game. It always has been, and it always will be. I think that Link to the Past is how do I want to put this? It was the beginning of the end for me. I mean, it was the greatest, but also at the same time, every Zelda game thereafter kind of mimicked its formula, and very few of them tried to innovate, with the exception of Majora's Mask. Very few of them tried to really innovate what Link to the Past kind of did. But kind of going back a little bit here, Miyamoto wants to do another Link to the Past game, which I don't want to stop him from doing because I think it would be a fun game, but at the same time, he didn't need a 3DS, and he won't need a Wii U to be able to make an awesome retro-style Link to the Past game.
Right, yeah, he could have just done that at any time. And even like Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass were set kind of like that same way, where it's like the top-down.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, at least Spirit Tracks was a lot of fun. I heard some bad stuff about Phantom Hourglass's repeating dungeons, but I don't see why you couldn't update the graphics for the system that you're going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. So, there you have it. That's really the news for the week. I mean, what's everybody's thoughts on Miyamoto wanting to do another Link to the Past type game? I'm kind of excited about it. I want to see what it'll look like. I'm hoping that he doesn't charge an arm and a leg for it, because as much as I liked New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I thought the price that he asked for it was way too much. I thought it was a fun game, but there's no reason to charge $50 for it. It's just another side-scrolling Super Mario Bros. Game.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was that fun.
Oh, you didn't?
No, especially with multiplayer. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, that was kind of a minor hell playing it with other people.
I got fed up about 2 levels in, and I just started intentionally killing people. I became that guy.
Awesome. You're an ass.
Yep.
That, and I actually wanted to pose another question as well, was what's everybody's takes on JRPGs? They seem to be catching a lot of flack recently throughout the gaming world, I would say. So not just like gaming sites, but like even just gaming forums and everything like that. People are either seeming to be like just totally for JRPGs or totally against them, saying that they're outdated and et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of want to hear what everybody's thoughts are on JRPGs, where they kind of stand. I think that JRPGs, personally, I think they still have a chance in modern gaming. But at the same time, I feel like nobody's really put the same thought that they used to put into them ever since the PlayStation 2 era. Like, it just seems this generation, that the PS3, 360/Wii generation, doesn't feel like that the developers and the publishers, it doesn't feel like they put the same spirit behind the games that they did of old. And I'm not even talking about like turn-based battles or anything like that. That I can deal with, or the overly androgynous or the mopey antagonist or protagonist, I should say. Those things don't bother me as much. It just feels like there's something missing from them. What do you think about that, Jesse? What are your thoughts in general, I guess, about JRPGs, classic or otherwise?
Oh, well, I think the prime example of what you were talking about is Blue Dragon for the Xbox 360. Like, it had all the touted developers from like the older Final Fantasy games and stuff like that. And then when it finally came out and I played it, I didn't care about any of the characters like I did in the old SNES JRPGs. But that's not because like the system's outdated. It's just because of like bad storytelling, I guess.
Yeah, it's like I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that actually came out in the PS2 era. The Xenoblade series, or Xenosaga series in particular, I really loved. But it really doesn't feel like they've put any effort into it. It seems like this generation we've focused way too much on shooters, really. It seems like we spent way too much time focusing on creating more and more shooters, and they kind of overshadowed the market's desire for more JRPGs. I think this generation did kind of perfect some other game genres, like third-person action games. I think did really well this generation, but I don't know. I think we missed a lot. And
yeah, I think at this point they're kind of set in their ways. I guess most of the JRPG developers, and at this point they just kind of phone it in and go by the same old formula.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they try new things, it seems as though we aren't happy with the changes that they make. Like with Final Fantasy 13, it was immediately noticed that the game was just a straight line. So it was almost like a damned if they do and damned if they don't kind of thing. So while people were complaining too much about grindy JRP mechanics, Final Fantasy 13 got rid of the grind by making a linear gameplay, but then everybody started complaining about the linearity of it. I don't know where I really stand on it. I wasn't a big fan of Final Fantasy 13 as a whole. Like, I didn't like the storytelling. I hated all of the characters, and I did. I really couldn't stand any of them. And the story I didn't like either. It was my least favorite one since 10.
Not a fan of 10?
No.
I'm not either.
No. No, I am not. And the voice acting in 10 made it even worse for me. If there was no voice acting in 10, I would have probably disliked it just as much. But, yeah, for me, I think it goes 6, 9, 7. And then, I don't know, kind of a jumbling of order from there. But that's kind of my preferred order of Final Fantasies, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you ask a lot of people, their top 3 are going to be those 3 in any number of order.
Yeah. I would throw Tactics in there, but it's not an officially numbered entry in the series. But otherwise, that would easily be in my top 3 or 5 because of the sheer number of hours I threw into that game. But yeah, I just kind of want to hear what everybody's thoughts are on it. Do you think that the JRPG genre can be saved at all? And if so, what can be done? Or is this genre kind of bound for obscurity, kind of like PC dungeon crawlers? Like Grimrock is being highly touted, and we really loved it for revitalizing an otherwise forgotten about genre. And is the same thing going to happen to JRPGs? Because it's kind of the way it's looking for me, anyway.
Yeah, I just think they need to get some better, I guess, storytelling and character development. Because in the past few I played, like I said, I just didn't care about any of the characters or what they were doing.
I almost wonder if they did some type of collaboration with American writers making a JRPG. You know? Creating a more...
Like Western-style JRPG, I guess?
Yeah, like a Western-style JRPG. I guess that would probably be the best way to put it. I think that would be a pretty good balance for all people involved, with the exception of hardcore JRPG fans, and there are plenty of them out there, and they will irrationally defend their favorite genre to the death. And they have almost every right to, because if it's something they prefer, but I don't know, for the rest of us gamers who enjoy almost all genres, I don't know, there's clearly something awry with JRPGs at the moment.
I guess the same could be said about diehard fans of the Western RPGs like Elder Scrolls series and stuff like that, because I'm not sure if they'd want to see a turn-based Elder Scrolls or something similar to that.
This is true. I read an article not too long ago basically saying that people are getting tired of the silent protagonist in Western RPGs, and I wholeheartedly disagree. I don't want my Western RPG main character to be speaking, but that's just me. And really, that's probably about all the time we kind of have for the show today. It's Friday. Everybody go out and enjoy your weekends. Jesse, thanks for hopping on the show. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If anybody has any questions or comments, send them to info@elder-geek.com. I'm probably going to have another viewer mail episode next week because I got a couple of them that I kind of want to go through as it is. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. And, of course, always head over to elder-geek.com. And, of course, right now we just posted our video review for Journey. And one other little note, the episode that we just recorded of Game Club is not going to be seen here on YouTube. I could not find a way to video capture... what the heck was that game that we just played? Offspring Fling. I know that other people have been able to actually capture Offspring Fling, but I do not have the software to be able to capture it and play it. However, our next Game Club is going to be on Legend of Grimrock, so if you want me to air any comments on the Legend of Grimrock episode, send them our way through either this channel or post them on Facebook or wherever we read comments. Leave them around. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you on Monday.